It's Indiana in the Morning, presented, as always, by First Commonwealth Bank here on AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. In the studio with me this morning, Cindy Rogers, the League of Women Voters of Indiana County, Josh Krug from the Department of Planning and Development for Indiana County. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are talking about something I haven't heard of this event until, Cindy, you alerted me to it, the Sustainable Economy Summit.
Yes, we're pretty excited about it. It's going to be April 21st, Friday, and it's going to be all day at the Rustic Lodge from 9 to 4:30. There is a cost, a minimal $10, but it's open to the public, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going to actually happen there. The reason we wanted to do this is because we want to try to bring more jobs into the county and just really build awareness of what's out there in sustainable economy. We have, this is geared towards community leaders, citizens, students of sustainability from the rural counties. And we actually send out mailings to 8 counties around Indiana County. We want to get municipality folks here, commissioners, leaders in the area. And ultimately what we'd like to do is see a task force developed to look into some of the possibilities of sustainable technology that are often immensely job rich that maybe we could bring into the county and help folks that are out of work.
So formatically, you're going to, have panel discussions and then presentations? Is that the way
Yes, we're going to have presentations by several quite well-known people. Josh can talk a little bit more about exactly who they are and what they're going to be talking about. One of the persons is Monaca Borough Manager Mario Leone, and he's going to be talking about what they did in their borough to advance sustainability and technology and bring jobs into their area. But there's going to be 2 panels. One is going to be some local folks, some local entrepreneurs who have developed different technologies, some wind turbine, solar technology, and they're going to be discussing how they'd like to see things work in the future. And then there's going to be another panel of educators and folks from different colleges around the area who are going to talk about concepts of sustainability. What we want to see is really sustainability into the future and building our communities. Yeah,
Josh Krug, when we think about Indiana County Department of Planning and Development, this seems to be right up the alley, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it falls into our wheelhouse, so to speak, in many, many different ways. When Vera Bonnet, League of Women Voters, came to our office seeking some technical assistance with putting together this program, it certainly fell in line with, some of the work that we do in providing that type of assistance. But also, looking at our comprehensive plan, and also some of how broad-ranging sustainability can be, throughout many of the chapters in our comprehensive plan, whether it be transportation, protection of natural resources, preservation of agricultural land, etc. There's goals and action items that if you delve into it, really draw out some of these functions of sustainability in terms of the encouraging new technologies that will protect, enhance, maintain and restore the environment, incorporating new technologies into transportation and rehabilitation and new construction projects, goals of restoring and enhancing the environment, even some real more direct objectives or action items that I pulled out here that I found interesting that really tie in with some of these speakers and et cetera. As I mentioned, it's very broad ranging. Establish permanent venues and facilities for farmers markets in traditional downtowns that host farmers markets, throughout Indiana County. Continue to promote and assist farmers with conservation planning and implementation of best management practices on our agricultural lands. And again, this is just some of the stuff that I pulled out. Stormwater management is another area that's sustainability and sustainable practices, best management practices can be implemented, things of that nature. Alternative energy, as Cindy had mentioned, and et cetera. And as we go over maybe a few of the speakers that'll be at this event, you'll see that it really is a broad-ranging thing, sustainability.
Yeah, Cindy, I note the DEP actually has somebody coming for this.
Yes. Let's see. I have to go down through my list.
They're on there somewhere.
They're on there somewhere.
The Department of Environmental Protection here for Pennsylvania is one of those agencies that is involved.
Let me go
in
down
what you do.
through
Sure,
the
go ahead.
list and talk about some of the folks. There's a Dr. Terrence Collins of CMU who will be talking about green chemistry and transformation to clean manufacturing. Sharon Pillar of Environmental Entrepreneurs will talk about clean PA jobs, research tools. I mentioned the Monaca Borough manager who will be here, and he has an award-winning approach to planning and funding and implementing renewable energy and other clean economic initiatives. Joe Pizarczyk, former director of the U.S. Department of the Interior Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation and Enforcement, will talk about mine land reclamation as a job creator in Cambria County and elsewhere. Hannah Smith Brubaker, former PA Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, is going to be talking about the role of sustainable agriculture. There's going to be somebody that talks about biodigesters. So it's also geared to agriculture, which, is Indiana County.
Jessica Shirley is coming from DEP, and she'll talk about solar.
Yes.
Finding Pennsylvania's solar future is her topic. But we note the number of different angles from which you can approach something called a sustainable economy. Josh, of course, defining what a sustainable economy is where that has to be the starting point, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and even defining some of those components of the sustainable economy, really, because as you'd mentioned, it's kind of a hard thing to define in and of itself, in the sense that it is multifaceted. And as you look at some of the sponsors of the event, that kind of gives you a little tell into it as well. I wanted to mention this as well. The event is sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania in collaboration with the League of Women Voters in Indiana County, the Center for Community Growth, Evergreen Conservancy, the IUP Sustainability Studies Program, and also the technical assistance that we provided here at the Office of Planning and Development. The Thrive Sustainability Economy Summit is part of the League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania's educational programming, which is supported by grants from the Colcom Foundation and the Heinz Endowments to the League of Women Voters Citizen Education Fund. Yeah. So that's some of the funding behind it.
And we have lots and lots of partners in this, Chamber of Commerce, Tourist Bureau. I mean, we've reached out to a lot of different folks in the area. But basically what we really want to do is build awareness of alternatives and get people thinking about different ways of doing things in our county. Mm-hmm.
Now, it's happening on the 21st, which is the Friday after this coming Friday.
That's correct.
Who do you want to come to this, and are there fees associated with it at all?
Well, there's a cost of $10, and you have to register. Well, you don't have to register. You can show up that day also. But we'd prefer that you registered. The doors open at Rustic Lodge on Oakland Avenue at 9 o'clock, and there'll be a lunch provided. That $10 covers part of that lunch fee.
Okay.
And there'll be breaks, but we have speakers, just one right after another, and the panel discussions. So there's going to be a lot of information. So we're aiming to municipalities, managers, borough managers, folks, commissioners, people in decision-making places. But it's also open to any of the public, people who have interest in those areas. We just want to build awareness and educate folks and hit as many people as we can. So we want people to get on the website and register.
Sure, but the emphasis on people who are in positions of authority within communities in Indiana County, that's a real key to making this thing a success.
That's right.
Yeah, if I can get on that, Todd, thank you. The target for the event are, like Cindy had mentioned, some decision makers, leaders in the community, and et cetera. But it's going to be an educational event throughout the day. People can come and go as they please as well. So if you can't make it for the whole day, it still will be a worthwhile event. And the event is also free for students. So I think it's really going to be a great event. And as we work on workforce development and the ties in with the STEM development that that we have here in Indiana County. I think it's a really good tie to some of the directives here in Indiana.
Yeah, we want to give the information for registering ahead of time. You can go to conta.cc/2MBEIX capital M. Wow, Cindy.
I know, that's really
You're making
hard.
that really easy. Josh is going to fix that for us.
Yeah,
let me
you
get
can go
on
to-
that. Cindy and I had a conversation here this morning, and we decided that we will, on the icopd.org website, put a link directly to
There you go.
to this flyer, which is an informational flyer, and it will have the what Todd just read to you.
Yeah, and if you can't get ICOPD, just Google Indiana County Office of Planning and Development or
Thank
Planning
you.
and Development Indiana County. It's going to take you there.
You'll find it there or
There's
via our
the link.
Facebook, etc.
And it'll be on the League of Women Voters Indiana County
Yeah.
information, too, on Facebook or the website.
There's also an 800 number. It's 800-617-4253. But you can show up at the door, too. It's the Thrive Sustainable Economy Summit at the Rustic Lodge on April the 21st from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The doors will open at 8:30 a.m. Guess what, folks? We're out of time. We
thank
ran
you.
it. We ran it right up to the marker there.
Thanks so much,
Thank you, Todd.
Brian Kilmeade Show is next here on Indiana in the Morning, AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. Have a fabulous, really good-looking day out there.